Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all the core gamers out there. CAJman777 here, welcoming you to episode 20 of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption today. In the last episode, we started exploring the Space Pirate homeworld and picked ourselves up the X-Ray Visor. One of the best and most important visors of the game, as you will see later down the line. Along with that, we also got a message from a captured Galactic Federation trooper saying that he has escaped Space Pirate capture on the pirate homeworld and is currently attempting to evade them. So in this episode, our goal is to just rescue the captured Galactic Federation trooper that was captured during the attack on Norian at the very beginning of the game. Before I get into that, though, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our donators over there on Patreon. Valentine Blaze, MickeyPhorGens, MaddiLeigh, Thomas, Color Craze, and Liotos for their continued support to the channel. So, without further ado, it's time to go rescue a Galactic Federation trooper. So, we're going to use our good old friend, the Space Pirate Elevator. For some reason, Samus's hand works on Space Pirate Elevator, probably because super space technology. I guess her hand can mimic anything for scanning. Chozo, yeah, makes sense. It's a Chozo battle suit. Federation scanners, yeah, makes sense because already Federation people. But you know, as for the last one, like, how do you scan the Space Pirate ones? I'm gonna assume she has like some sort of magical, magical effect that she can apply, I guess, with her hand scanner. Oh, that cutscene took a little longer to start than I thought it was going to. It's okay though, because we have our door to the elevator open. Well, technically, it's not really an elevator. We took the elevator up. We're actually going further into the facility, so we're not actually technically using the elevator. So, you know, we're just going to go further into this facility, and if this is the room I think it is, we're about to get ambushed. And it is indeed the room I think it is. So, yeah, we're going to get attacked here by Space Pirate Shriek Bats. Gotta love them. Is this the room? This is definitely the room. Yeah, this is definitely the room, because right here we have what you see on the floor: Phazon grubs. Drains bioenergy. Bite can deliver Phazon infection. These things are really easy to kill. Just shoot them a couple times and no, go away. They just jump at you constantly. They're really not that tough or strong. So they're pretty easy to dispose of. Where is the... There's a thing I have to do in this room that it's going to trigger an ambush. More of the Phazon Shriek Bats. You missed! Because they're horrible. Where are you at? I know it activates somewhere. It might be because the drone isn't here. Which I'm hoping it's because the drone isn't here. But we're actually going to quickly screw attack over to this platform. Because if you come back over here, there's actually a grab ledge with a missile expansion on it. And I usually forget to grab this, but not this time! Not this time. This time I remember. I remember where it is, and there's nothing the game can do to stop me. I'm gonna land on this track. Good. It pushes me off, but you know, it's for the greater good. It's for the greater good that it pushes me off. Let's get inside this morph ball tunnel then, and work our way through as we have loading doors to deal with. We like loading doors and a turret. So, you know, there's turrets and Phazon grubs. Now, the specific turrets, here, as you can see, it only has a certain area of attack, which is awfully important. Let's go open that for me. Excellent. So, it only has a certain area of attack, and it's when you set up in, the little attack zones. So, we're gonna try and avoid the attack zones as I quickly morph ball jump from platform to platform. Luckily, you can actually just skip that one. Really nice. We're gonna bust this open, which is gonna open up a half pipe, but we're not gonna go that way. We're gonna just quickly do a simple bomb jump, grab ourselves an energy tank. Super nice, and hopefully kill this Phazon grub. Unfortunately, this thing is stupidly accurate, so I try not to fight it. So we need to activate this now. It should decrease this lock, which is technically where we need to go, but I say no to that because I think there's... Yeah, it's Spider Ball. We don't have Spider Ball yet. We'll come back to this. in a second, but we need to go into this tube. So this is going to take us across the room that we were just in, all the way around the room that we were just in, to our good old friend. Let's restore things with the plasma beam. So this one's pretty simple. You get to make an S, and I screwed up starting to make. There we go. And that is going to activate this X-ray visor scanner for us. Wow, okay, that's just super convenient. That's just super convenient. I did not expect them to spawn where they did at all. Just the symbols that opened the gate were just in the perfect spot. So I ain't complaining. That was actually really nice. I didn't actually check how many missiles we have right now. We have 165. We still got a long way to go. A long way to go. We gotta go back through here. All the way across. We have to, unfortunately, skip the spider ball section here, but we have to actually get up to this door here. You can see there's a ship missile expansion up there. I'll show you guys again. There it is. Right there. Ship missile expansion. I'm going to try and go as fast as I can so I can get up here. There's another spider ball track. Unfortunately, cannot use this one either. We will have to use that one to get another item later as well. A lot of spider ball tracks in the pirate homeworld, and unfortunately we can't use any of them. So yeah, there's that. All right, now I should get ambushed. Oh, I didn't do it fast enough. So right there, that space pirate, keep him in mind. We're going to see him a ton as we scan these guys, who apparently I haven't scanned at all. Oh, it's just, they entered hyper mode. All right, well, we know how to fight hyper mode. With hyper mode, as you can see, these guys have a heck of a lot of health. And, oh, you knocked me out of it. Okay, did not know you guys could actually do that. That's a little scary. So much health. They have so much health. Those are essentially battle pirates. They are better than assault troopers. They have better armor. They are better equipped. And they are there to ruin your day. And we'll be fighting them throughout the rest of the pirate homeworld now. Now this room. A lot of people wonder why the heck do you trigger the alarm in this room? Well, if you switch to the X-ray visor, there's actually invisible lasers that you can't see. So you have to carefully navigate your way through here. And remember these little panels on the wall, because we're actually going to come back to these panels as well. But before that, we scan lore. Lore is very important. First, disciples. I almost said eclipses. Our struggles have ended. She has shown us the error of our ways. The way is now clear. All previous vows of fealty have been forsworn. We now pledge sole allegiance to our liberator, the Great One, Dark Samus. We bear a singular honor, we lucky few, for we are her first disciples. Our burden is a happy one, for we will pave the way to her glorious victory and cosmic rule. Let the light of Phazon lead us. So yeah, they struck a deal with Dark Samus somehow. Don't know how, but they did it. And of course, because they struck a deal with Dark Samus, they have now allied with Dark Samus, which is why we don't see them at all. I believe this one has a laser behind it. No, it doesn't. Right, this room! I love this room. This room is going to give us more space pirates to fight. And an alarm system, which is going to alert the rest of the space pirates so we can fight them. So these guys are assault shield troopers. Obviously, they have the same weakness as every other shield trooper in the game. Rip off their shield. And now you can do nothing. And you will wait there as you shoot me and you charge me with Phazon and I use it against you. It works every time. Of course, we also have the battle pirate as well. These guys are ridiculous. And, I'm sorry, they're not battle pirates. They're stealth troopers. Duh, I forgot they can turn invisible. He attempted to turn invisible there. Didn't work. Didn't work. So, retractable doors blocking access to power subsystems controlled by this terminal. Terminal controls nearby door. Use the advanced visor system necessary to operate. Again, simply put, X-ray visor. I mean, like we're using X-ray visor. Since you pick up X-ray visor, you use it pretty much the rest of the game. So now you can see the code. These codes never change though, which is the sad part. These little twisting codes don't change. But that gives us access to an elevator to the second floor. Yay, elevators! Alright. Unfortunately, the elevator takes us down, but we need to go down because there are a few panels we need to retrieve and an energy cell. So we're actually going to repair this panel first. So with that panel now operational, it's going to start the system again in the middle, which is going to allow us to actually get from platform to platform. I skipped the cutscene. Really sorry about that, but that's all it was. Now we're going to get a second energy cell here. So now we have 5. There are 4 energy cells left remaining in the game. I believe we get 1 more story-based. I believe you get 6, and you have to find 3. There's 1 in each area. Unfortunately, guess what that energy cell just did? I think you know where this is going. I think you guys see where this is going. Yep! It's Metroid time. Also, this music, for those of you who don't know what this music is, this is the same music as the Elite Pirate from Metroid Prime 1. So, really cool. Unfortunately, the Metroids are really easy to deal with. And for our troubles, we get a free missile expansion. So, there is nothing to complain about. Free missiles. Especially because now we have, like I said, the Hyper Missile, and we're going to be using that a lot later in the game. We're going to be using that for a lot of the fights coming up. Now, there are 2 things I can do here. I can go to this side door, or I can go up here to this plasma door. If I go to this door, and I shoot this open, you're going to notice if I open it, there's acid rain here. So we cannot deal with that yet until we get the weapon, until we get our upgrade. So, because we don't have that upgrade yet, the upgrade to stop us from the acid rain, we have no other choice but to go this way. Now this room has a simple screw attack surface for us to use. I'm going to just blow up this crate because I need health. Losing 3 energy tanks is really not fun. For those of you who know that it's not fun. What I'm actually going to do though is I'm going to use my Seeker Missile really quick and hit all 4 of these targets. Because this is going to give me another screw attack surface, which I need to use, and I totally forgot about it and totally skipped it the first time. Now, there are some crawl tanks, but we're going to completely ignore the crawl tanks and kind of just screw attack across the rest of the room and make our way to the ending of this room, which is, you know, it's relatively easy, nothing too special about it. You can blow up the Phazon Puffer there, and there's a piece of lore here. Let's read that. I have not scanned this one either, apparently. Why am I missing these? The source discovered. After our liberation, she left us adrift. We thought this was a test of our loyalty, and so we endured. Some said she abandoned us, and they were promptly shot. Disciples do not doubt their leader. When she returned, it was on the back of a titanic starborn beast. As we groveled in awe, she ordered us to follow the beast through a rift in space. A wormhole. Some refused to follow, afraid of the unknown. They, too, were shot. Disciples must be fearless. Once through the rift, we saw a singular wonder. Phase, the source of all Phazon in the cosmos. Phase, the home of our glorious leader. What is Phase? You'll find out soon enough. Now, going into this room here, we're going to get a cutscene. You may notice there's a missile expansion in that one. However, that's not the important one. That is the important one. And you may notice she turned directly toward the Spider Ball track behind her. That does not mean we're going to get Spider Ball right now. No, absolutely. It's telling you you need to remember Spider Ball is there. It's not, and you'll see why, because coming up we're going to have a little bit of fun. And I hope you guys are ready, because I'm ready to have a little bit of fun. So, we cannot get the missile expansion yet. We need to just go through here. We can avoid pretty much everything. This is where that trapped space pirate, that trapped Galactic Federation trooper is. He's fighting his way through a bunch of space pirates. We're just gonna kind of come in here and destroy these guys. with a little bit of phase on. Of course, you activated hyper mode, but it didn't matter. He was one shot.
Samus, thank the stars it's you. I thought I was a dead man. I think I can help you get to the seed. As I'm sure you know, the path to the seed entrance is exposed to the acid rain. However, I've seen the pirates using a special suit shield that protects them from the elements. If you can acquire one of these shield units, you could probably make it to the seed. Lucky for you, I've seen where they make these devices. Here are the coordinates.
As you saw, I mean, we've seen that they're there. They're going to give us coordinates, but, as you can see, we have some interesting things to do.
I even know a back entrance to that location, but we'll need your help activating the lift that takes us there. We've got to engage the security levers simultaneously.
Gotta love this stuff. Now! I am breaking every crate in here. If there is any more crates. Yes, there are. 3 crates. That's all I need. Now, let's activate these security levels simultaneously with the Rescued Federation Trooper, of course.
We must synchronize our movements or the security claims won't release. Are you ready? Pull. Twist. Push.
You actually have to do it on cue or it does not work. Believe it or not. There we go. Let's take the lifts with our newfound friend. I'm just gonna let this play itself. Ladies and gentlemen, Gondreda.
You know, you should never trust strangers, Sammy. This is gonna be fun.
Your boss fight is Gondreda. Gondreda is a shape-shifting, essentially gymnast, and morphology. Gondreda, metamorphic bioform, able to mimic numerous enemies in battle. Gondreda's ability to shapeshift has been greatly enhanced by phase-on exposure, allowing her to assume a number of deadly forms at will. These new forms come with a cost, as she also inherits their weaknesses. A mistress of stealth, she will employ her personal cloaking field of often, setting up her next deadly attack. An advanced visor system may be able to detect her location, aka X-ray visor. Ladies and gentlemen, your boss fight is Gondreda, the mini-boss of the Galactic Federation. Essentially, the last hunter we also have to fight. She fights using electricity and a lot of it. She also jumps around like a gymnast, so I do not recommend actually using hyper mode for this fight. Of course, you need to rely on avoiding her, and of course, her main gimmick for the fight is going to be shape-shifting. How do you stop Gondreda from using her shape-shifting? Well, as you remember, as you read, Gondreda inherits not only the enemy's strength that she shapeshifts into, but their weaknesses as well, which means you can essentially destroy Gondreda very quickly with her ability to shapeshift. Now right here, I usually recommend hitting her with the Hyper Missile. As you can see, it actually does quite a bit of damage. Now, the one thing you have to be careful of is when she switches into other space pirates as well, such as the Aero Trooper. I love using Hyper Missiles on this boss. It does a lot of damage to her as well, and is your good source of hitting her for seeing that she is a very fast target. She does have the ability to cuddle you essentially with electricity, and that will ask you to shake her off. So hopefully we're not going to get hit by that this fight, because it actually does quite a bit of damage. It's like 50 damage she does to you. As you can see, she is now Swarmbot Gondreda. Swarmbot G, group form's powerful attack can be overloaded. So essentially, to overload the Swarmbots, just keep shooting at them. You will overload them all eventually. And this is also how you're going to get health and ammo throughout this fight, is by shooting her Swarmbot Swarm You can try and avoid it as much as you can, but she eventually will shapeshift back to her normal form. Now, you may notice she's got this really cool theme with her fight, so I'm actually just going to let you guys listen to it while I attempt to obliterate her by shooting her like 20,000 times, because this boss fight actually takes quite a while. So, here's the theme while you listen to Gondreda's fight. Gotten a general gist of her theme. As you can see, she now gets access to more forms, specifically Rundas and Gore in this form, but we're not quite done yet, as she will switch between the two frequently, making you fight the gimmick of all the other hunters once again, which honestly is not a bad idea, and I actually really like the concept of having to fight the hunters you've once fought once again in a shape-shifting boss form. But as I said, she inherits their strength and their weaknesses, so that means I can just blast her with hyper missiles and I won't have to care. So that's really good. As you can see, we've knocked her to about half of her health now, and it's still a long fight as she's going to switch once again into Gore here. We're going to try and go low and under Gore, that way we can do the damage to the head unit as per usual when we fought Gore. Really easy fight, and actually a really fun fight. I really like Gondreda's fight. Probably next to Rundas, the best hunter fight. Gore definitely the weakest of the two hunter fights. As you notice, a lot of her attacks though are based on using electricity, and her upgrade is also going to be the cause of that as well. You do need to use the side dodges a lot to avoid Gondreda as well, along with the rest of her attacks. So now she's very angry. She's gonna do this, and yeah, she she gets boost ball. It's annoying. Yeah, she turned into me. Which is fun because she gets zero laser, which I don't get. And the boost ball actually from Samus's own form does a lot of damage. But of course, because Gondreda is Samus, she takes damage the normal way Samus does, which it literally is just in your face. Just shoot Samus. Like, legitimately, that's the way to damage Samus. That's what you do. Unfortunately, she will go into this Samus form way more often than than I'd like her to, and she uses boost ball quite a lot. As you can see, she charges you with it pretty often. You just need to watch where she spawns out because she hits you with a zero laser, and she also gets some form of shockwave, which I don't get. I really wish I could get a shockwave, but no, Samus doesn't get shockwaves. Gondreda has the ability to get shockwaves, but no, not Samus. Also, if you may notice, the edge of the arena right now is exposed to acid rain. Ouch! That really hurts. I don't know what that attack actually was. She has a lot of attacks as well. As you can see, here comes the zero laser. Got her. It's easy to defeat Gondreda with all the energy tanks we have as well, so don't feel too bad trying to fight Gondreda just with a normal beam. It does take a bit of a longer time. Now she's going into her final phase, which is her X-ray form. Really easy to deal with. You can see her doing this as well. You can shoot these discs as well for health pickups, and of course she switches back to Samus, and she's gonna go for Zero Laser because that's what she does. It's Gondreda. I wish I got Zero Laser. Well, technically I kind of get a Zero Laser. It's more of a phase-on beam kind of thing, but obviously she does it better, which, you know, it's sad, and I would like to have it, but, you know, I don't get that opportunity. So, I really have nothing more to say about this fight other than it's really cool. It's just the worst part about this fight is attempting to hit her, because she's so dang fast. You have to kind of essentially aim in front of her, in order to do damage. Okay. Gonna switch it back. Now, her final phase is Hyper Mode induced. As you can see, she is currently in Hyper Mode and very upset. I usually stick with normal beams, though, to deal damage to Gondreda, because you can overload her Hyper Mode really fast. So just dodge around Gondreda, finish her off in this last phase, and you're going to win this fight pretty easily. As you can see, she still has a ton of health, though, where'd she go? Still has a ton of health, but we need to deal with that as fast as we can. I've never really died on this fight. The trickiest part about Gondreda's fight is that her Hyper Mode essentially gives her invincibility to everything but Phase-On. So using Phase-On against Gondreda is your best bet to beat Gondreda here. As you can see, because when she's in Hyper Mode, I cannot actually do damage to her until she comes out of it. I've never really wanted to use Hyper Mode on her last form either, especially because of how annoying it can be. With her last form to deal damage to her, but she goes into Hyper Mode so much that you might not have an option but to blast her with Hyper Mode, which is why you get all the health pickups for the fight as well. As you can see, she still has a ton of health. We're slowly knocking it down, as you can see, but you know, she's so dang fast, and this fight does take quite a while. But it's because it's on Hyper Mode is the reason this fight takes quite a while. Normally, this fight does not take long at all. But she, again, goes into Hyper Mode really often, and the stealth field as well is super annoying to deal with. You honestly have to wait for her to stop before you really hit her, and I don't like that. But we're going to try and finish her off here, and hopefully we can overload her Hyper Mode. No, get off me, please. It does so much damage. So much damage. Do not get hit by that multiple times, especially if you let her finish that attack. Her finishing that attack does way too much damage. As you can see how, like, quickly I'm having to shoot her, because she constantly will switch in and out of her form really fast. Her Hyper Mode form is absolutely obnoxious. Oh, come on! You should not have gotten that! Alright, well, that's fine. I might finish her with a Hyper Missile. The problem is using Hyper Missile on Gondreda is really difficult unless she's in her Berserker form. So, I don't. Berserker form does a lot of damage to her, though. She jumps around like a freaking gymnast all the time, dude. Almost got her. We need to knock her out of Hyper Mode here. We're probably going to finish her off here once I knock her out of her form. Once she jumps out of it, which she hasn't yet. Next time she goes X-ray, I'm gonna probably finish her. Hopefully, if I get some damage on her. Almost got her. A little bit more Hypermode to deal with. And then we're gonna get her. Usually you gotta wait for her to land, and this should be Gondreda right here. One more shot. Got her. As you can see, that even shocked Samus. But as Gondreda falls, you know what that means. All three of the hunters are dead. It means we get all three of the hunters' upgrades. And because Gondreda fights with electricity, I think you know what item we're going to be picking up. So I'm going to get all the energy she drops because, god dang, she drops a ton of energy. After this fight. Absolutely fantastic. You can see how much health I just regained. But we're going to pick up the grapple voltage, which is the final upgrade, final normal upgrade, I should say, to the grapple beam. Now, what does the grapple voltage allow us to do? Well, allow me to show you. So, essentially, we can now access these panels. Now, if you see it surrounded in blue, you can pull the control stick back and actually gain health back while you do this. As you drain energy for energy shields, it reactivates elevators in this room. It downgrades everything else. And we just get a safe exit, essentially, out of here. Now, we get to do one of the coolest things here in the Space Pirate facility is we get to actually use these control terminals, which I love, and it brings out a Space Pirate train. And we get to use this train system to transport all the way around the map, which is really fun. So with that, we get to activate the train system. All we need to do is pull and drop. And it's going to allow us to get back to the entrance of this facility. But now that we have grapple voltage, we can now go get Spider Ball. As I said, we needed one more upgrade before we could go get it, and now we have it. So now our adventure is going to take us back to Elysia, and we are going to go get Spider Ball. And then we come back to the Pirate Homeworld and get to do a bunch of fun stuff. But there's a couple things we need to do in Elysia while we're there. And I will explain what those are. Now, there is a piece of lore here. Let's read it. The Leviathan. Our leader provided us with great wisdom on many subjects, including the improvement of our mighty battleship Colossus. We followed her teachings and turned our vessel into a ship without peer, but more work remained. Dark Samus required a mighty flagship, one to strike terror in the hearts of her enemies. The might of the Colossus was not enough. She demanded more. Her solution was unique and most excellent. We took her great Star Beast and fitted it with cybernetic weapon systems. Crew quarters and command consoles were placed within the beast's skull. In the meantime, we created a mighty dreadnought called the Leviathan. The great leader was pleased. Yes. Feed into Dark Samus's wills and rage. And that is what we must do. So we get to use grapple voltage again, get to steal some of our health back once again, and with that, we get to make our trip to Elysia. We will need to come back here to go get the upgrade, though, a bit later. So what we're going to do, we're actually just going to enter the ship here. Have a little bit more time on this episode. It's a little bit. And transport ourselves all the way to Elysia. Once again, as we now need to go get Spider Ball. One of my favorite upgrades. Spider Ball. One of my favorite upgrades. Alright, so we go to the world map. We go to Elysia. And we go to, I believe it's landing site A. And there goes a drone. We don't want to land at the main docking bay in Elysia, and there's a reason for that. Remember how we dropped the Spire on the Leviathan seed in Elysia? Yeah, see, the Spire's not there anymore, so we actually have to travel to 2 different sections of the map to get the items we need. This is the correct landing site, thank God. There's a couple things we can do here at landing site A. There's a couple things we're going to need to do at landing site A. So, you remember the sky tram? Well, we need to use the sky tram. However, we need to go down here to Powerworks. We also need to use, there is a sky bridge. Not here. There is a sky bridge that we need to use over in this direction. I believe it's like right here. This is where the Spire dock used to be, but it's not here. We need to go to Zipline Station Charlie, and we need to use the Hoverplat docking site as well. There's a spider ball track in here we're going to need to use. We also need to get back to, not the Aurora Chamber, but we also need to go back to here. So we need, on landing site B, we actually need to go all the way in to, where is it? I believe it's right here. Not the turbine chamber. It's one of these. The Chozo Observatory. This, once we get Spider Ball, we're going to hop back to. And there's a reason we need to hop back to it, and you'll see why. But, as of right now, we do need to go get Spider Ball. But, unfortunately, I am all out of time for this episode, and I think we landed on the wrong dock, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we did. So, I'm actually all out of time for this episode. So, we're going to switch the landing sites really quick, and then we're going to call it an episode. I believe it was landing. Technically, we could go to landing site A, but we have to do this, so it's better that we do this now. So go to the main docking bay. This time, I always mistake and go to landing site A because I want to go to the Chozo Observatory to unlock the item locations for the rest of the planets, which we can now do once after we pick up Spider Ball. So there's that. We have to do that. It's very important. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. And in the next episode, obviously, we're going to go pick ourselves up some Spider Ball and do a couple more things in Elysia. And then call it. And then we're going to call it an episode there. And then we go back to the Pirate Homeworld. In the next few episodes, we get to do some fun things. So once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And until then, this is CAJ Man 777 signing off. Stay safe, everybody.